inspired by the Mandalorian and Grogu with every galactic Whopper meal, built for hunger of galactic proportions. Also, for the young bounty hunters, discover an exclusive The Mandalorian and Grogu toy with a King Jr. meal. 8 toys in all, while supplies last.
Burger King, this is your way.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today's Wednesday, the 6th day of May 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And to remind you that For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes from generation to generation. Coca-Cola is still a Cayman classic. And the Credit Union looks forward to serving the people of the Cayman Islands for the next 50 years and beyond. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. Big shout out again this morning to our colleague, Mr. Joel Wilson, as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy and sometimes dangerous roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I have the distinct honor and pleasure of being your host. My name is Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, sometimes the phone lines are open, sometimes they're not. Right now, the phone lines are open until the 8 o'clock news. You can call us on a toll-free number. If you're calling from a flow number, that toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. We also have a WhatsApp number, 925-3261. So let's look at the birthday shout-outs this morning, first of all, we see that Shirley Mae Connor celebrating her birthday today. I want to wish Shirley Mae Connor happy birthday. Okay, that I am told, yes, recognize the name now. That is the Member of Parliament for Cayman Brac East, former Premier, former Speaker, Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly's mother, Miss Shirley Mae Connor. Happy birthday to her today, Miss Shirley Mae Connor. Also celebrating a birthday today, Miss Julia Campbell, celebrating a birthday. Maurice, hope I'm pronouncing that right, Maurice Marshall, celebrating a birthday today as well. Yesterday, Robert Bushy Bush celebrated a birthday, and 2 days ago, Janet Campbell also celebrated a birthday. If you know anyone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out. Of course, the For the Record birthday shout out is brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. And the Credit Union. Credit Union looks forward to serving the people of the Cayman Islands for the next 50 years and beyond. Let's look at some news here. This one is extremely important. Press release sent out, and today, the 6th of May, annual government hurricane preparedness exercise. And you will recall that on Friday, we kicked off Preparedness Month as well, right here on For the Record, with the DG designate, the senior meteorologist at the National Weather Service, and the Director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands were in the studio as well. Sorry. And that, so here, we do have a caller. We're going to come to that caller in a minute. So the annual government hurricane preparedness exercise. What will happen? Crews from the Public Works Department, the National Roads Authority, and the Department of Vehicle and Equipment Services under Hazard Management Cayman's National Preparedness Framework. They will install and remove hurricane shutters from 124 plus government buildings, including 16 official shelters. They will test standby generators and water cisterns at key facilities. They will also verify that all sites meet hurricane readiness standards. Again, when? Today, Wednesday, May 6th, 2026, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. So they're already on the ball between the hours of 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. Says government buildings across Grand Cayman. Shutter activity will be most visible at Georgetown Primary School. That will be around 8:30 a.m. and the Georgetown Civic Center around 10 a.m. as well. So, what you should do, it says no storm is currently threatening the Cayman Islands. What residents should do: 1, stay calm. It is only a drill. 2, Use the reminder to review your own hurricane plan, supplies, and insurance. And 3, learn more. You can learn more by going to caymanprepared.ky/hurricanes. Why don't we take the commercial break now, Miss Susan, if you want to, and then we'll take the caller after. This way we won't have to interrupt to go to our commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superheroes shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Yeah, let me tell you, no AC when I was a boy. I still remember just how good an ice-cold Coca-Cola was.
The part is, the coolest moms and dads always had Coca-Cola or parties.
The sound when you pop the top, and the fizzle, and that, after that first sip.
Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, that ice-cold bubbly. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic.
When you join the credit union, you're not just a customer. You're a member owner with one equal vote. As we celebrate 50 years, our members continue to share the benefits. Enjoy strong dividends on shares, competitive loan rates, and the lowest lending fees on the market. Plus, we're the only lender returning up to 2% of loan interest to our members every year. For 50 years, we've helped Caymanians save, borrow, and build brighter futures. That's the credit union difference. Visit creditunion.ky to learn more.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to our caller who we had on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning there, Mr. O.C. Connor.
Hey, good morning. How art thou?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. A little on the congested side. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of recognize that this morning. You got wet. Don't ride in the bike or what?
No. You know, with a granddaughter in preschool, you know what that means.
Yeah, bringing home all kind of things.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, see, I wanted to congratulate the ministry for the event on Monday. the emancipation, something that we shied away from some time back.
Yep.
Certain politicians didn't want to acknowledge and dismantle I don't know if they used to celebrate it, but it used to be a holiday. Even back, Mr. Brenner, the late Brenner Watler, told me back when he was a youngster, and they had a different name for it. They used to call it Niggers Day. You know, and from then it was recognized until some late politician came up that didn't thought that should be acknowledged. But I want to congratulate the various people that have recognized and brought it back, because you really got to know your history and your culture or heritage or whatever it is you want to label you want to put on it. And I want to congratulate all the people that came out in their Cayman colors in town that was out there celebrating. I thought we should have had more because it could have been just as much foreign people as it was Caymanian, even though it was a good crowd. But I want to congratulate all the people that took part.
Do you believe that the rain may have dissuaded some people from coming out or when it came earlier?
At an earlier stage, because the rain was very severe, and many people might have thought that because of the heaviness of the rain, you know, how that was coming down, it might have been, you know, postponed or canceled. So that could have been part of it too. But it cleared up pretty good, very good, and it ended up being a good evening. And as you know, our good friend Samuel Rose with his group, with the Swanker group, you know, they lay it down real heavy too, you know. You know, so that was great. But OC, but before I go, I just was wondering, OC, like how we got you give you an option with your driver's license, you know, it's 3 years, and then you got an option of like 5 years and stuff like that. Even work permits, you know, you can do multiple years, right? I was wondering if they would look into doing like companies or business license, because, you know, that's a lot of paperwork every year, and then you got to.
I think something was announced. Something was announced recently in relation to that. I'll find the press release, but something was announced recently in relation to that, where I think it's going to be like for 5 years, trade and business licenses.
Right. That's what I thought. I didn't know that was proposed. That was in the back of my mind, whether they should do that, and then and even companies, you know, registrars of, you know, you gotta, you know, renew your company. I don't know if the annual return would be affected, or you would do annual return for 5 years, or how you would do that, but I think even the registration of the company, you know, could be done, and that would ease up a lot of work on the civil servants and a lot of paperwork too, you know.
Certainly would, yes, definitely.
5 years. I know. I mean, that would be. Not everybody would probably take the option because financially, but you got the option, you know, and everyone that take advantage of it would be less work for the civil servants and less paperwork that they have to go through. Because not everybody takes up on the driver's license 5 years. Some people just do the normal 3 years. So, but at least you'll have an option, those that want to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But let's go back to Emancipation Day for a minute. It would surprise you, and you know, I didn't take a poll or anything like that, but when you look on some of the platforms, especially WhatsApp and some of the groups there, and one group in particular where I saw an individual making negative comments about celebrating Emancipation Day here in the Cayman Islands. And while I respect that each person has their own views, their own personal views, as well as their own opinions, I am, you know, going to sort of, I will always voice my opinion in relation to why Emancipation Day and the recognition of it is so important, because it had a lot to do with the demographics of the Cayman Islands after that. What the impact that emancipation had in terms of freed slaves leaving Cayman to go to other jurisdictions simply to try to take advantage of other opportunities, while some did stay here as well, and then they return after. But to ignore the impact and consequences of slavery, to me, it is hurting when you see people say, "Oh, we need to move past that. We don't need to celebrate that any longer." It really,
I'll see. I'll see. Maybe those people that making those comments, I wonder if they got helpers and how they treating them. Yeah, that's why they don't want to celebrate the abortion of slave. Those people, see, the same ones, and they're the same ones too that took it out of away from being celebrated or recognized. Those same ones don't want to celebrate that slavery was abolished. Matter of fact, I believe they were still like force slaves around their house to be able to have them do whatever it is they want them to do. With guess what? Less pay. You earn your boarding and your food, and that was about it. So yeah, all those people that talk about that or see, and they're not, they really, maybe the abortion of slavery was not really a part of their history. They would like, the part of their history was to have the slaves, but not to celebrate the abortion of slavery. That was a no for them. So yeah, I can see a lot. And then you talk about moving on. Well, see, why is it that the Jews haven't moved on? The Jews say that they constantly remind people of the Holocaust because if the world forgets, it is likely to repeat itself.
Precisely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, see, every chance we get, we need to remind. And going back to the Honorable Arden McLean, they see our glory, they don't know the story. We have to remind them of our story. How did we get from there to here? And how it is that here is not like everywhere else that give them the opportunity to come here and fall in love with here. So when you come here, you need to respect here and acknowledge here and try to read the history books and find out how here get like the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to, every chance we get, we need to celebrate our heritage, our culture, and everything else. You don't like it, leave.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to try to grab one more caller before we go to our 8 o'clock news, Lord Graham. Talk to you later.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Hey, morning. How are you?
Good, I'll say good, man. I hear you talking about the slavery business. Well, let me tell you something, my friend. From my mother's side, it's black people. My grandfather was a Scotsman, right? Scottish, okay?
Okay.
So I come from two sides of the coin. And we are free from chains, my friend, but we are far from being free.
So true.
Right, because you talk about heritage, I like that word heritage, right? Now, we got anywhere in the world, our beautiful jet land. You see the Sir Turtle there. They would call him Sir Turtle. But our poor Caymanians got to stand up in the line down by the turtle farm for hours to buy a little piece of turtle meat and be free? Friend, and let me tell you something, O.C. You know it like I know it. When I was in the construction, the people that gave me the hardest time was my own people. They tried to stop me from making a living, you know? And that is the side of the story that we need to remind ourselves. We need to look in the mirror because none can free ourselves but our mind. And, you know, people call me rebellious out of order because I say things. I don't care who feeling I hurt, you know. I don't, once I am speaking the truth, I don't care who feeling that I hurt. Because the truth is a heavy load and not a lot of people or she can handle it. Because let me tell you something. When people tell me the truth, I hope you don't think it don't sting me, you know. If it stings me.
Yes.
But all I can do is look in the mirror and say, Elvis, remember, you know, life is a two-way street. You give and you're going to get.
Yep. Some people like to give, but they can't get.
Aye. But, you know, see, when we when we think about our heritage and our thing, look at Jamaica. Jamaica was the codfish. The Arkan, the bread food was brought to the West Indies, the Caribbean, to feed slaves, right? Now, our national dish is turtle meat. We can't get it because I'm lying beg it or steal it. Praise the Lord. So, when you go to eat a Cayman restaurant or eat a hotel here and see if you can get fried fish and fritters or a coconut dinner rundown, you can't get it. But Jamaica got some of the most beautifulest hotels in the world, right? Beautiful. And I can guarantee you, on that menu, it's saying saltfish, roast breadfruit, green banana, and I can think, right? And they're proud of it.
Yes.
Because it's part of the history, but we are ashamed of who we are. And I mean, that is the truth. I mean,
I agree with you.
See, tell me one hotel that you can go, and you know the joke I get when they call it Cayman Cookout. No, it's supposed to be renamed Cookout in Cayman because I don't see one thing. I see some recipes and some dishes there that if you show them to my grandmother, she wants to say, tell me what are these them people going that place. you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I tell you what I'm just trying to say, no reason. You know?
Okay. Sorry. We've reached 8 o'clock news. Sorry, I have to interrupt you there to go to our news, Mr. Elvis. But hopefully the phone lines will be open when we have our guests in the studio. Give you an opportunity to call back as well, folks. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Gas prices climb for the sixth week in a row. According to the Utility Regulation and Competition Office, the average price of self-service regular gasoline has jumped another 11 cents to now $6.13 a gallon, and that's up a total of $1.13 just in the past 6 weeks. The average price for premium self-service is up another 10 cents from the last check on April 29th to $6.50 a gallon, while diesel jumped an additional 12 cents to $6.83 a gallon. According to Offreg, the cheapest self-service regular gas is available at Lorna's in Boddentown at $5.68. On the diesel side of things, refuel has the lowest price at $6.38 a gallon. Folks in Cayman Brac are still paying $6.24 for regular. Drivers in Little Cayman are paying $6.96 a gallon. The Department of E-Government has been meeting with residents in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman to explain how the new identification card works and to answer questions. E-Government Director Ian Tibbett says the card is designed to verify your identity.
It allows you to prove who you are, both in person, physically, and online with both the signature and the authentication capabilities.
The Honorable Nicholas DaCosta was in attendance and shared his support.
It was very important for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, especially for our families, our young children who often have to travel domestically around the country, but have to travel with a passport because they're not old enough to have a driver's license.
To apply or to get more information, head to egov.ky. And it's that time of the month, Underground Sessions.
Even though the rough times are showing, there's just no way, there's no way.
This month's Underground Session, our featured artist is an up-and-coming performer. She is a great vocalist and does an amazing blend of genres. Her name is Colindra Rodriga. So come on out and check her out. And of course, as always, we're going to have some other performers from poetry to rap to spoken word to comedy. And if you're interested in performing, just come through as well.
Underground Sessions host Mikal Campbell, also known as Kyle Matrix, invites you to the Prospect Playhouse from 7 p.m. tonight. Admission is free. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, a key mediator between Iran and the US, has said there's momentum in negotiations on a deal to end the war. In a post on social media, Shehbaz Sharif praised President Trump for pausing the military escort of commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz, which only began on Monday. The Lebanese National News Agency says that 6 people have been killed in the latest wave of Israeli airstrikes on eastern and southern areas in the country. Despite a ceasefire that is still nominally in force, the Israeli military has continued to carry out attacks on what it says are Hezbollah targets. Oil prices have fallen and global stock markets have risen following reports that the US and Iran are close to a deal to end the war. Meanwhile, airlines have cut 13,000 flights globally so far this month as jet fuel prices soar. In other news, the World Health Organization says 3 more people have been evacuated from the cruise ship at the centre of a deadly outbreak of hantavirus. The infected passengers are being taken to the Netherlands for medical care. At least 7 suspected cases have been identified. 3 people have died. Scientists say a massive wave that swept through a narrow Alaskan fjord last year is the second largest ever recorded. They warn it was only the early morning timing of the event that spared nearby tourist ships. Such waves, known as megatsunamis, are caused by landslides crashing into water. President Zelensky of Ukraine says Russia has decided to reject efforts to stop fighting by launching drone attacks on several cities in Ukraine, which had called a unilateral ceasefire. German police have raided the homes of more than 35 people suspected of involvement in far-right criminal groups. The targeted individuals are suspected of organising violence through social media. The youngest suspect is 16 years old. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brigade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 78%. The barometric pressure is 29.97 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 6 knots. Overnight low was 78. Synopsis indicate a ridge of high pressure dominates the Caribbean at this time. Drier and more stable atmosphere will become established and persist over the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. Satellite imagery show patches of low clouds around Grand Cayman and the sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Forecast for today calling for mainly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index near 99 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures dipping to the upper 70s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Today's high tide will be this morning at 11:44, low tide this evening at 6:23. The sun will set this evening at 6:48 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:54. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through the next few days. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos.
Oh, Lordy. Janelle? From spring break 08?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony. CG Britk. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britk, where people come first.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
And Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, still a Cayman classic.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. Slow-moving traffic on Cool Road as we look to Shamrock Road further up, moving at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story, a little steadier traffic. And moderate flow of traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. On Huldah Avenue, traffic is steady. Coming from the West Bay 4-way, start flowing at a moderate pace. Surprisingly, it's not raining in West Bay. North Sound Road, moderate flow of traffic in both directions, and Industrial Park area moving at a moderate pace. If you've seen accidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give another look at traffic.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Got plant problems? DOA got solutions. The Department of Agriculture is proud to launch its monthly plant clinic, taking place every second Saturday, starting April 11th. Bring your samples and get professional advice on pests, diseases, and overall plant health. Perfect for home gardeners and commercial farmers alike. Visit doa.gov.ky/latest-news to learn more.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay Mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. At this time, my pleasure to have in the studio with me, Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Joey Hugh, Deputy Leader, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, and Member of Parliament representing the constituents of Red Bay, Mr. Roy Tatum. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. You look well rested after the last session or last meeting of the House.
Good morning. Yes, Osi, thank you very much, and good to be back here. Getting a little rain outside, in case you didn't know, which is nice.
Oh, well.
Needed so badly, so of course as well, just ask everybody to be extra careful on the road this morning. But good to be back with you. Yes, we had a very a jam-packed 3 days of Parliament, something that we have some concerns about. We can talk about that later, just, how much the length of the Parliament hours and the quality of the debate and the information we receive. But, we're back at it again. with our listening tour coming up. We'll mention it all morning long at Red Bay in the Seafarers Hall this Thursday, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
at 6:30 for 7 o'clock start. So, lots to talk about this morning.
Yeah, good morning, OC, and good morning to our listening audience. It's a pleasure to be here. As our leader just said, we have a lot to speak about this morning. I just want to send a pre-warning. I will be leaving about 9:15. I have a lovely young Caymanian lady who is being called to the bar this morning, and I want to be there to give her support. Absolutely. So it's an honor to be here this morning, OC.
Congratulations to her as well.
Yes.
And her family. Mr. Tatum.
Yeah, I'll send my congrats as well. Excellent news. Good morning, OC. Good morning to my colleagues. Good morning, Cayman, my constituencies in Red Bay. And as a Cayman Braca recently said to me, glad to hear I always give shout-outs to Cayman Braca and Little Cayman. So good to be here with you again, sir.
So, OC, before we get lost into this debate and because Mr. Bryan, Honourable Deputy Leader, has to leave, myself and the entire PPM team, and I'm sure that you will join me in this, would like to wish a happy 82nd birthday to Miss Shirley May O'Connor, the mother of Miss Juliana O'Connor Conley, the Honourable Juliana O'Connor
Happy
Conley.
birthday.
In the BRAC, so we want to
Happy
wish
birthday.
her a wonderful, wonderful 82nd birthday today.
Yeah, we gave her a shout out this morning as well. Didn't give her age, but we gave her a shout out.
Well, when you get to that age, you got to be proud of it.
I'm telling you, that's right. That's correct. Yes, certainly.
So, Mr. Connor, obviously in the last sitting of the House, we had a number of parliamentary motions and questions coming up, and I think that we want to talk about some of those successes, but also mention what our plans are over the next couple of weeks. So I think we're going to probably start with some of the parliamentary matters first, Mr. Leader.
No, we can. So, OC, we just a lot to talk about. A lot happened in 3 days, and I watched with intent the government's video summary of what happened over the 3 days. Lots of good things did happen, but OC, we want to start digging into some of these matters that the government are claiming to be responsible for when we have situations where they're preempting motions being brought, private member motions being brought by the opposition by making announcements the evening before, and also making statements prior to questions being answered. And it became very clear to us in the opposition, and certainly myself, where we have said here on the show, and we've undertaken to be as cooperative versus combative as possible. But what it seems like the government is starting to believe that we're a member of the government, that we're members of the government, and taking our ideas and using our questions to formulate action plans, as well as to formulate statements, and taking credit for the plans that we put out and the questions that we file to the Parliament. And so this morning we're going to dig a little deeper into a lot of those, into some of the private member motions and the reactions, as well as some of the claims that the government is making around the National Housing Plan, around tourism, around the fuel motion that we brought, and of course the landfill from my perspective. And I know these two gentlemen have other areas they want to cover as well this morning.
Well, Mr. Connor, I think that because I'm going to leave early, I'm going to just try to go to the key thing that I took away from the last sitting of the House.
Okay, sure.
Which is particularly what we spoke about, myself and my member from Red Bay, Roy Tatum, which is the inflationary concern that we had. One of the very, very important questions that were put was, what is the renewed inflationary numbers? And the Honourable Roy Tatum put that question to Parliament. And I come to find out that the inflationary numbers are exactly what we warned about in December when we were approving the budget, which was at that time only 2.6%. Well, the latest numbers that we now have, the inflation has increased by 100% since then. and things are exactly what the people are feeling in the community, where the cost of living has increased tremendously. Just to give you an idea, food is expected to increase. Obviously, we all know about the fuel matter that are expected to already increasing.
Went up today again. I heard on the news. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay.
Another 11 cents.
So there you go. So it's constantly increasing, and we expect it to continue to increase for the foreseeable future. Sadly, the response that we got, and you heard the Honorable Leader speak to it about them jumping out saying what their program that they're doing, we think is a little bit too late and not adequate enough. Though we are very happy they accepted our motion, which will ultimately reduce the cost for CUC at 25 cents, which will not go on your bill per kilowatt, but also the reduction on fuel at the pump, which is expected to be a drop about 75 cents for 6 months. But unfortunately, we've already seen an increase of up to $1.60. So you're still left over with an increase of 75 to 80 cents increase from what we were just 2 months ago. But that number is going to continue to increase even with the acceptance of what we suggested. So in our humble opinion, we think that what they have suggested just isn't adequate enough. You heard them try to preempt what we were trying to do in Parliament, which is fine. We're not going to sit here and say, complain about the fact that they did it, because people will say, well, they did something.
We're happy it was done.
We're happy it's done, and we're happy that they followed our lead. Here's the problem that we have is that their plan is phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. The phase 1, which is the immediate effect, is exactly what we suggested. So that's good. The short-term medium program is relaunching this CHAIR program, which subsidize spray foam insulation and energy-efficient appliances for eligible homes for lower consumption. Now, it all sounds good, but I was a part of the last administration when we did that under the Honorable Wayne Panton, and the savings were so minuscule that many people thought it wasn't a savings at all, and it's more of an environmental energy efficient program, which is great. We're not condemning that, but when we're talking about immediate impacts on the people, there was no details as to this subsidizing spray foaming. It sounds like they just threw something together the day of Parliament. We were in this room, myself and Roy Tatum, talking about these stuff, and then 2 hours later there was a press release and this video about what they were going to do, and I asked questions in the floor house to give us details about this medium term. So you're going to help us with spray foam. The average home is about $5,000. Are you saying that you're going to give persons who cannot afford it $5,000 to spray their home so the energy can go down?
Yeah.
They just seem like they threw things together, and then they're...
If I can, on that point, not to break your stride,
no, it's okay.
It's a depth. So, see, this is a concern we have, is that, as the Honourable Deputy Leader said, they made this $9 million energy savings commitment, or rescue plan, I should say, the eve before the private member's motion to reduce the duties on fuels. Mm-hmm. That motion had been submitted over 2 weeks, 3 weeks prior to. Sorry, I can keep going.
I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. We'll
I think it may be.
Yes. The computer. Sorry about that. Yeah.
3 weeks prior to that day. We just found it amusing that they would announce this savings package of $9 million when the Honourable Minister for Finance was travelling on government business to Jamaica. And, he was back the next morning when the private member's motion was scheduled to be brought, where he could respond to the motion himself. And I know my good friend, the Honourable Minister, he is not shy about taking credit for things or speaking. So, what was a rush to have the acting minister make that announcement 6 o'clock the evening before the private member's motion? And as the Honourable Deputy said, coming out and saying that they're going to go further by doing foam insulation, there's nothing in the budget for that. There's no funding in the budget for that. This is something that they've just brought. They said they've been talking about it for months and months. Well, there's nothing in the budget for it. And how are you going to execute that? Who's eligible? What's the criteria for it? Are you going to foam everybody's ceiling in the Cayman Islands that don't have foam in the ceiling? Like, how do you decide? And again, how do you pay for it? And just like the housing repair that we see a little bit of money going into the budget for each year, I don't know whose homes they're repairing. Certainly none in my constituency. I don't know if either of these two gentlemen have anyone in their constituency that's being helped.
Not yet.
We keep asking, and it seems as if it's just caught up in bureaucracy. So, these are the concerns we have about this glossy, thumbs up, attitude that the government's having. And again, in this motion that was planned for months by the opposition. We've been in here on the radio. We've been on television saying they need to do something to help this $2.5 billion budget with no relief for the people. So we're now happy to see some relief coming. But to turn and say that you'd been thinking about it for years, for months, and you have nothing in the budget for it, and then you announce it on the eve of the opposition's motions to do so is just disingenuous. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, not what I would consider being cooperative, but provoking combativeness.
Mm-hmm. So, from a strategic standpoint, how do you address that happening? Because the government hasn't done anything illegal in terms of it. It appears as if sort of, for lack of a better expression, a game of one-upmanship in relation to it. But, from as an opposition, does it mean then that maybe you don't bring the private members' motion, but you put it in the form of parliamentary questions as opposed to the motions? How do you counter it?
We still went ahead and brought the motion, and so we could actually debate it. But even so, with the parliamentary questions, I had submitted extensive parliamentary questions on the landfill, and then we had the minister making a statement the evening before preempting the questions. And when I read her statement paragraph by paragraph was related or answered my questions in her statement. So this is the sort of thing that we see happening, and we are, let us not mislead the public in thinking that we didn't agree with the duty reduction that they did. We're very happy it's happening. But even in the spirit of cooperativeness, if they had accepted it and then said, we want to go further, let us come together, waited until the honourable member brought the motion, then accept the motion and say, but we want to go further. Let us come together and exchange ideas. Let's work together. Let's put together a bipartisan committee and identify areas. Our manifesto is filled with areas to reduce the cost of living for Caymanians. So let us work together, but don't preempt us and then say that you've been working on this for months and months and months and months. That's not the spirit of cooperation for us. And then when we look at, as we just said, and I know the Honourable Deputy has to leave, but when you look at what they announced, we could sit here for the entire show and poke holes in it, OC. It's not a real plan. It's an idea. It's an overarching theory, just like the housing report, which I'll speak to later on. It's not a plan. It doesn't lay out how we're going to do it, what the costs are, how we're going to fund it. That is a plan. So
Mr. Conn, to answer your question in respect to about what they haven't done anything illegal, of course not, and about one man upship, right?
One-upmanship,
right? Upmanship, right? I could really care less, to be honest with you. What I want is a solution for the people. What we're trying to highlight is that the people have to realize that this was BS in the clearest form ever, because they didn't put much thought into it. They had no details to it. They wanted to be able to say they accepted ours because they could not say no, and then say, actually, we have a lot more strategy long term and medium term, and they don't have the details for the medium term. Of course, foaming people's homes sounds good, but where's the supplementary funding for it? Where is the details for it? They didn't have any of that. So you can see they threw it together. But even though that sounds good, and I, by all means, I support it if we can go into the finer details. But the things that came out in respect to the particular question that Roy Tatum asked, which is so pertinent. I remember, I must commend you, wonderful question, which is the food price pressures. Global food prices are expected to increase by 6%. Right? Fertilizers are expected to increase by 42.5%. So we know groceries are going to increase. Transport is going to increase for shipping. So if you want to talk about immediate solutions, you want to go further than what the opposition said, if they were really thinking about it, they would have said, okay, we're not going to charge any increase in fertilizers for our farmers locally. That would have bring down costs. Any increase on average of food importation in the Cayman Islands will be ceased at this price point now, or give a reduction on food. Now, the Honorable Minister of Finance did get up and say, well, most of it is already duty-free. But whatever isn't duty-free, for the next 6 months, make sure that it is duty-free, so that at the grocery store, at the cash point, when you go to Foster's, Kirk's, Supermarket, Hurley's, and you're paying for food, it's going to be cheaper because the prices are going to increase. The shipping, you have a Minister of Transport, we have a Minister of Trade. None of them got up and said, well, okay, what are we going to do about the fact that shipping costs are going to increase? Are we going to reduce the cost at the Port Authority? They did not think about this, because there's many other options that we in the opposition, the People's Progressive Movement, would have come up with as a solution immediately today. Their long-term medium plans, you can tell. I'm going to give you an example. Let me just highlight this for you. Their long-term plan is for 2027 and beyond. That's a year and a half from now. The people need relief today. And the only relief that they have offered and announced is the one that we actually put forward. Thank you very much. Not going to complain. But we want more than that, because the truth be told, the cost that we're facing today is only going to get worse. And to highlight this point, we've been saying this from the inception of the budget. You cannot increase minimum wage, taxes on the people, immigration costs, and make more bureaucracy for businesses, and don't expect the cost of living to increase. So unfortunately, I am not satisfied with what the government has done. And to be honest with you, I'm so glad that I'm warning people from last week, start preparing yourself for this summer. It's going to be difficult, because the plan that they have offered, it seems like, I hope they are listening. You better have a press conference and explain exactly what this medium-term plan is, and how soon the people are going to feel the benefits. So that's the biggest takeaway from me, that I am not comforted in any way that it's going to be real relief for the people. The people can't wait till 2027. You've been in government 1/4 of your term, 1 full year. We told you this was going to happen. It is now here. And to be honest with you, Mr. Corner, they're going to say, oh, this is to do with the fuel situation and the global circumstances with Iran and the United States. The truth be told, before the invasion or the interruption in Venezuela, before Iran, the cost of living was already high. This is just adding on top of it, expediting the situation that we already knew was coming. So I don't want them to try to use the excuse of the current global circumstances as an issue. Many people, many business owners, many Caymanians would have said, in January of this year, cost of living was already too much for them. Now it's compiled on top, and now they're having to play catch up, because they recognize they have a strong opposition that's going to hold them to the point. We're not satisfied. They can do more. Reduce fertilizer costs for the farmers. Reduce food costs that is expected to go up by 6%. Reduce shipping costs at the Port Authority, so that people can get more relief. And there's many other programs. We can sit here all day and talk about ways they can reduce that. Remember, they have a $43 million surplus that they didn't plan for, which we told on this radio and in Parliament that was coming, because their forecasts were wrong. So the people want relief, and we're not going to let them get away with the fluff of, oh, we're coming with this plan without details. The people are smarter than that. They have access to the data to prove that it's just not adequate. So that's where we're at.
Dowdy, just to add to what you were saying, and to remind you, not that you need reminding, I know you know this, but you highlighted it. But at budget time, their forecast numbers for inflation did not even include the additional fees that they were bringing. So from the get-go, the 2.6% really wasn't going to be.
It's flawed from the start.
And also to remind the public, and we spoke about this last time we were here, inflation is cumulative. So even though this is going to rise to 5.3% in 2026, and it eased to 4-point-something% next year, easing doesn't mean what went before has gone away, right? It is cumulative. So ignoring what's coming now, but just over the past 4 or 5 years alone, the cumulative impact of inflation on the Cayman Islands people is about 20-25%. I'm being told to pull the mic a bit closer. Yeah, I'll repeat that. The cumulative impact on the Cayman Island people over the past 4 or so years for inflation has been between 20 to 25%. So it doesn't go away. That's going to be getting to 30% and higher as we get into next year.
So, Mr. Garner, just in the interest of it, I'm having to leave early. The other major thing that I found was the fact of this refund policy. We've got a lot of calls from businesses talking about they spend so much money at immigration. There's over $30 to $40 million that is spent in immigration through businesses, and this processing, particularly when there needs to be refunds, some people take almost a year to get their money back.
Wow.
To be honest with you, technically some companies can sue the government to say a loss of interest on my money because you hold it up for so long. I'm very, very happy that the Honourable Minister Michael Miles has seemed to have accepted that there is a problem and are committed to reducing the refund time limits from 8 to 10 weeks. We're actually meeting with him later today to talk about pensions, which is another matter we have to deal with, but I think we're going to digest what we get today from them to talk about that next week. But one of the key things that we want to do is we know that doing your business and having your money tied up, especially when you're going month to month or week to week in running your business, whatever money that is owed to you, the government needs to pay you back right away. So he's committed to having those refunds down to 8 weeks, which is 2 months, which sounds within reason because they had to get all the information to make sure that you're due the money back and so forth. So I'm very, very happy about that. The other concern that I had was in a question I asked, that I actually didn't ask, I think the Honourable Leader did, the rehabilitation crisis. Currently, right now, there is nowhere for a person who is addicted to substances that are female or a minor to go to because of a failing within the ministry from a costing perspective. And I understand the former director. I'm not sure who the former director is, but whereby there is a gap that they didn't have enough staff to deal with the females because obviously female and male have to be separated. But so much so that now there's been a gap of a whole year. I have some constituents who've called me from Fairbanks Prison saying that they're in there because they could not go to Caribbean Haven because of an administrative failure by the ministry. I wouldn't say the ministry. It sounds like there's a bit of administrative leadership problems. But that shouldn't be at the risk of the people who need this rehabilitation so importantly, particularly females. To be honest with you, I don't have no sympathy for the men. But women and children are now having a whole gap year. God forbid they're on substance abuse. Right. The courts are now forced to send them to prison because they don't have a Caribbean Haven to go to. And it's a.
Do we know what that administrative?
That's wrong.
What that?
I think the ministry should get on this radio and explain why that gap is. Not for us to explain because I don't want to get the details wrong.
Okay.
But the fact that there's been there's going to be a year gap where there's no ability for unfortunate minors on substance or female on substance, that they're forced to practically, the courts are now saying, I don't want to send you to prison, but you have violated a serious law, so I only have one option, which is to send you to Fairbanks. That's crazy.
It was a funding issue, we were told, I believe.
I raised it. It was a funding issue. It was a staffing issue first, and then it seems as if because there were no staff available, no staff hired, then the funding was removed. That's kind of what I got out of it. And I raised this privately before the budget. I have had mothers writing to me, loved ones writing to me saying, I have gotten my child off the streets. And I was shocked to find out that there's no government place to put her for rehabilitation. And I raised it privately, and it seems as if there was absolutely no action happening. So it forced me to bring the question to the floor of the Parliament. And And OC, even after budget was November. So 5 months later, I was shocked. I got up to ask supplementary questions and words failed me. Truthfully. Words failed me. Anger took over, so I left the chamber. And the Honorable Deputy continued the questioning because I cannot believe it. And there was no clear road. They were going to offer home assistance, they said. Home assistance. If anyone is dealing with addiction at that level, forget the courts. We're talking about someone getting someone's child coming and saying, I'm ready, I want help. You can't manage that in your home. Home assistance, they're not going to give you 24-hour home assistance. And we've spoken about it in here before, OC, that their dealers will find them. You can't be with them 24 hours. You got to go to work and stuff. Their dealer will find them and give them drugs to get them back on it.
Right? Do we know what obtained in the past? Is this a new development, or was this an issue that was always there in terms of the housing of females and juveniles?
I mean, we've always had Caribbean Haven for decades now.
Okay. And there was residential treatment for females. We understand from the questioning that there was never there for juveniles. And that they either do home treatments or they send them overseas. But either way, it still didn't seem as if there was a clear pathway for assistance or anyone. This is why I think a lot of our kids are now having to be put through the court system to be put in one of the homes versus a volunteer program where they can get help, where the family can get help. And they need residential help, because if you've ever dealt with this before, it's very difficult to live a normal life and then try to care for someone who's struggling with these addiction problems. So because they need 24-hour surveillance and support, and you can't always be there. And so it's just, not to belabor the point, but I do believe that this is a matter of urgency, and we call on the ministry and the minister to address this urgently. There's a lot of other things they're doing and making a big hoopla about. This is a serious matter that needs urgent attention, OC.
Yeah. One more question on that. I believe that there was some announcement that the redevelopment of Poinciana, that some adjustments were going to be made to the way that it is situated for, yes. For other issues. For other issues,
yeah. So there's two issues there. There's, I think, at the hospital is where they have the minors, but then they're mixed with adults there. So they had an incident there last year, I think. So the other issue is that there's Poinciana was not designed for
drug rehab.
Not only drug rehab, but violent persons with mental health issues. And so I think a part of it is now being converted to be able to house those that need security rather than at the hospital.
Okay. Gentlemen, we're going to go to a commercial break. Ms. Susan, we want to check the WhatsApp. There may be a WhatsApp message there as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dawson Drive, Industrial Park.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Sunday, May 10th at 7 p.m. Join us at the Lion Center in Grand Cayman for Tribute to Mothers, featuring the legendary The Hoppers and Chris Blue, Season 12 winner of The Voice, along with William White, the Williams family, and the CIC Youth Choir, proudly supported by the Office of the Premier, the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture, and Heritage, the Ministry of District Administration and Home Affairs, Radio Cayman 89.9, and Praise 87.9 FM. Gates open at 6 p.m. Tickets $25 pre-sold, $30 at the gate, $10 for children, and VIP $50. Get your tickets at Funky Tang's, Cayman Islands Conference Office, and in your local churches. Tribute to Mothers, May 10th at the Lion Center.
Hello, this is Martha Watler. Happy 50th anniversary to Radio Cayman. It has been a true pleasure to have been a part of your journey for over 35 years. Wishing you continued growth and success as you keep informing, connecting, and entertaining the Cayman community for many years to come.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Leader of the Opposition, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, and the member for Red Bay. I'm abbreviating everything so that we can spend as much time as possible talking.
Mr. Connor, I think that the one of the key things that we should highlight before we lose many people is that we are continuing our listening tour, which proceeds tomorrow at the Red Bay Seafarers Hall, and I think
at 6:30.
Roy, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so it'll start at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow at Seafarers Hall on Victory Avenue. We had to postpone it because the last time we were set for the day of the landfill fire, and there was a fair bit of chaos that day, so we put it off. And the Honourable Perlina McGaw Lumsden was also away on business. So she arrives back today, I think it is, or tonight. So she'll join us as well tomorrow. So it'll be the full team here in Grand Cayman. Who will be at the meeting tomorrow. So please everyone come out from across Grand Cayman, across Georgetown in particular, and ask your questions. We're happy to answer them and just to speak with you and see what's on your mind.
Mr. Connor, I think it's important to highlight before, because we're talking about some serious stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Today, but this is going to be the last time we're on the radio until next Wednesday. This weekend is a very special weekend, particularly for mothers. It's Mother's Day weekend, and we within the People's Progressive Movement and on behalf of each one of our constituencies and all the Cayman Islands, we want to take this opportunity to appreciate, highlight, praise, thank all the mothers out there for all that you do. There's probably not enough words in the Webster's dictionary to highlight the importance of everything that you do
Collins.
for us. Or which one?
Collins Dictionary.
Collins Dictionary. I'm a Webster's guy. But we just want to say we love you. We thank you so much. And the People's Progressive Movement and our leader will be having a message out to you on behalf of all of us. But we want to do it while we're here on the radio to say thank you, we love you, and happy Mother's Day from all of us within the People's Progressive.
Happy Mother's Day when it comes.
We'd like to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. Mostly I'll take the opportunity now as well to my wife had a very, very special Mother's Day 18 years ago. And this Mother's Day will be my son's 18th birthday. Okay. So I want to wish him a happy birthday on Mother's Day as well.
He was born on Mother's Day?
He was born on Mother's Day, and then this year his birthday is on Mother's Day. So happy birthday to him and all those who are celebrating this week, and of course, happy Mother's Day.
Again, one last little announcement, because it's so important, particularly for the Georgetown area that's coming up on Monday. The National Bulk Cleanup, Waste Cleanup, has already started this week. It's in West Bay. West Bay is my second district, and I want to say a big shout out to West Bay. Make sure we keep the Gaza nice and clean. So go ahead and make sure you get all your waste out to the roadsides while the Department of Environmental Health and their hard-working staff keep our islands clean. Georgetown, we start next week, Monday, so start prepping yourselves. Thinking about, take this weekend, look at what you have around the yard so we can get our communities cleaned up. Obviously, again, next week we'll be talking about the rest of the areas, Bordentown, East End, North Side, Kimmerbrook, and so forth. I know that the department has been pushing heavily on the bulk cleanup waste program that's happening over the next 4 weeks. So make sure you do your part in Georgetown this coming Monday and for West Bay as it continues for the rest of this week.
And just remind people, because it's important, I had some questions coming through to me. Items accepted: appliances, mattresses, vegetative waste, furniture, bicycles, and scrap metals. Items not accepted: so electronics, tires, hazardous materials, construction and demolition waste. So the items not accepted are electronics, tires, hazardous materials, construction and demolition waste. Hazardous materials is maybe a broad category, but that's what they have there. So please note what's not accepted. Mm-hmm. Don't put those items out. They will not be collected.
And I think what's important also is that construction material, because people will have a tendency to put that out.
All right, so we'll see back to the serious business. Mm-hmm. So also during the session and part of the highlights from the government was a glowing report delivered by the Honorable Deputy Premier, the Minister for Tourism, about a record-breaking month in March. And so, OC, so we can put it on the record here, for the record, we have concerns because the Honorable Minister of Tourism didn't speak at all about contingency plans and any efforts or any plans in place to support tourism in the summer months. And OC, we say this because last summer was very difficult. Every one of us had tour and taxi operators calling us for assistance, begging us to beg the government for some sort of assistance. And our sources in the hospitality industry, restaurant industry said that it was a pretty tough month. And they're all happy that we've had a good season. But understanding, OC, not from my personal opinion, but from what the region is reporting, is that one of the reasons, and not to take away from our Department of Tourism, we know the wonderful job they do, but one of the reasons that tourism in the region has been up is because of the issues happening in Europe, with all of the war, the Gulf War, and of course the Israeli war. Persons are hesitant to travel to Europe. In fact, tourism within the United States has increased because people are even afraid to leave the United States. Mm-hmm. But the region has seen an uptick because of this. But ironically, OC, the same reason that we've seen an increase in tourism may be the same reason that may put us into trouble over the summer. Because today's reports are that thousands of flights are being canceled even within the United States because of a shortage in jet fuel.
Mm-hmm. Spirit just shut down.
And Spirit just shut down as well because of cost, because the cost of doing business and the lack of support from the United States government led to Spirit shutting down. So we waived the warning. And in case they say, oh, we've been working on it, now is a good time to come out and say you're working on it because you didn't say it in Parliament last week. In fact, when we questioned the opposition, that is, when we questioned the government on fuel storage capacity here, it was revealed that they didn't even inquire about jet fuel. So they've promised to provide us that answer in writing. So they didn't even think about asking, with all of the news around the world, thousands and thousands and thousands of flights being canceled, they didn't think about asking whether or not we have a consistent supply and what our storage capabilities are for jet fuel. So across Europe, in the Caribbean, with Cuba, the issue happening with Cuba, all of these things have led to an uptick in tourism for us. But all of these things have the ability to affect us in the very same way that it's affecting everyone else, and end up with us having a drop in tourism numbers because of canceled flights, because of fear of traveling, all of the things I just spoke about. So we have serious concerns. I did a little straw poll over the last couple of days, and talking to tour operators, bus drivers, everyone, and they're grateful for the numbers this winter season, but they're just simply playing catch up from last summer. And then this summer is going to hit them pretty quickly and pretty hard as well. So just a word of warning there to the Honourable Minister for Tourism and to the government to start considering what their action plans would be should we start to feel, and if we start to feel, the effects of fuel shortages, jet fuel shortages, and a drop in travel due to even a week or 2 weeks if something happens in Cuba, cutting off the air flight over Cuba and over Cuban waters can have an effect on us. So we have to take these things into consideration. And while we celebrate the recent record-breaking numbers, and congratulations to DOT and everyone involved, we have to also plan for things such as I see my deputy pulled up the hantavirus that has a cruise ship floating around in the middle of nowhere, and other things. We even see here locally today's report on whooping cough and a stomach virus in Iraq. So we have to take these into consideration. So I just wanted to raise that here, OC, and I like my little. Let's see, I'm becoming a poet, on the record, for the record, concerns there with tourism.
Okay, gentlemen, we are going to our headline news at 9 o'clock. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Covering Bryan, Little Cayman, Kim and Bryan.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
It's the annual government hurricane preparedness exercise. Crews from Public Works, the National Roads Authority, and the Department of Vehicle and Equipment Services, working with Hazard Management Cayman Islands, are installing hurricane shutters, testing generators, and undertaking related checks at government buildings and official shelters across Grand Cayman today. In international news, the president of the Canary Islands says he opposes the Spanish government's plan to let a virus-hit ship dock there. The MV Hondias, which departed from Argentina on April 1st, has an outbreak of rodent-spread hantavirus on board. The ship was supposed to arrive in the Canaries in the next few days, but Fernando Clavijo says, quote, "I cannot allow the boat to enter. A number of passengers have been infected and 3 have died." 3 people were evacuated from the ship to the Netherlands today, according to the head of the WHO. The Dutch government confirms 1 is British. In an update today, the ship's operator says 2 of the evacuees are showing, quote, acute symptoms. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, a man in hospital has the virus after traveling on the cruise ship. The government there says person-to-person transmission is, quote, rare and the risk to the Swiss public is low. And Vivek Ramaswamy will run for the position of Ohio governor in November after the staunch ally of U.S. President Donald Trump emerged victorious in one of a series of primary contests held in the U.S. Midwest. Projected results Tuesday night showed the health tech entrepreneur had defeated Casey Putsch to earn the Republican nomination. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with me, we have the Leader of the Opposition, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, and the representative for Red Bay in the studio. Gentlemen.
Yeah, Mr. Connor, I got a message from a lovely author who highlighted the fact that the spray foaming reduced their electricity fees by almost 40%, and that we should not discount it. And me, in my rushed words, may have inferred, or it may come off as if I'm saying that we're not in support of the medium-term plan by the government to assist Caymanians with spraying their roofs to insulate and keep it cooler, particularly in the summer months. That's the farthest thing that I intended. What I'm actually saying is, yes, we agree with that, but there's no details with implementation or where is the money going to come from. It seems as if...
How many homes will be impacted?
Exactly. How many homes are going to be impacted? What's the criteria for it? Because, I mean, if you're thinking about the average cost, maybe you can get a prorated plan from a company. If you say, give us a price for 1,000 homes, and you can get it dropped down. But even at 1,000 homes, who are they going to be? When is it going to start? All of these things. So we agree with the foaming because it is a way to reduce costs. But the cost is not only on energy, even though energy is one of the main drivers for inflation and cost of living. But there's other ways you can do it. So I want the listening audience to not, if I apologize if I infer that we don't support that, we do. We're just not convinced with the argument that they put forward. It sounds like it was something they just threw in last minute. And they're saying it's a medium term, not something that is immediate. If you want to do that, get up on the floor of the House with a statement to say it starts on this date. This is what we're going to do. This is the criteria. Caymanians start applying so you can save money today. And
that was the point. That was the point I made to the minister as well when I asked the question with regards to where was cost of living going to end up. And after the response, I said, this sounds more dire than I thought it was going to be. So I recognize that the statement did speak of short-term plans, but a lot of emphasis on medium and long-term. Mm-hmm. But there needed to be pace. We need to be looking at some stuff now for people.
So, see, one of the things that we, for instance, talking about the foam insulation, the LEED system, LED, was a George Bush initiative many years ago. Mm-hmm. the green buildings and stuff, and a lot of it did government buildings first, and that has everything to do with the air quality in the building, the lighting, everything. But what they did for energy efficiency was they offered financing packages or they guaranteed financing packages for buildings that were retrofitting to become LEED certified. And what they would do, let's say that like the person that wrote to the deputy about their utility bill, let's say it was $800, and they say it was reduced by 80%. So it went down to, 40% went down to $320. That's a $380 saving, right? Mm-hmm. So if a person was able to go to the bank with a government guarantee on that, or through a government agency, CIDB or whomever, and they would say, okay, your estimated savings is $320. So what we'll do is we'll give you a 3-year loan or a 2-year loan that you pay $300. So the savings you're getting from your utility bills, you can go ahead and pay for that, and then you have that savings in perpetuity. So that's the kind of thinking, the sort of opportunities that they have in the long term to assist the average person. Unfortunately, we'll see a lot of the people that we serve, they're not even thinking about foam insulating their roofs. They're thinking about stopping the leaks. And getting them repaired. And it brings me back to what I said earlier. We hear about there's 2 home repair programs now, but not a single one of the people that we submitted for home repairs have actually gotten their home repaired. They haven't been told. Some people have been called, some haven't, but they haven't been told, no, you don't qualify, or nothing, just nothing has happened. So this has been going on for quite a while. So it just makes us very frustrated and not suspicious, but certainly we have to be pessimistic about these sorts of frivolous announcements. And if you will, that takes me into the massive hoopla made about the housing plan. OC, I want to say that it's a step in the right direction. It's been a long time coming, but it's not a plan, OC. It speaks to a very broad framework to how you can achieve, or what it will need to be done to achieve housing for Caymanians in the future. But there's no plan. We have a 3,000 unit shortfall at the moment, 815 families according to the I call it a framework document, OC. It has no execution plan. It has no benchmarks. It has no budget. It has nothing to that. That's what a plan would have. So it's a framework document, and it really is just a strategy without any quantified outputs, which doesn't constitute it as a plan. But we'll see with 3,000 units shortfall at the moment, 815 families. Those are the ones that are listed, not those that are wanting to get on or in the future. And while we are not opposing their goals, there are huge challenges in delivering it, because it is so broad. There's no targets, no timelines, no certainty. There's no structure, and much less to get to delivery. And we don't understand what the policy, how they're going to execute the policy. They've put none of that in this report. What we need now, OC, is a report, a real plan that follows up, giving us timelines, identifying what the participation will be by the private sector. This even talks about making critical legislative changes, turning the housing trust into a authority. When will that happen? Is there a timeline for that? What budget will that be in? Because obviously once you turn it into authority, then you need a separate budget for that, and a lot more than just what they have now on the government company that it is. So, is that going to happen in the 2027 budget? Like, what are the timelines in these things? How are you going to execute them? Funding, like I said, hasn't been identified as yet. There's very little funding to even cover what they're doing right now. The legislative drafting, as we know, is that already happening? When will that happen? How will this affect and how will this play a role in the update to the National Development Plan? Because in this report, it talks about changing densities, making places much more high density. It talks about separating properties and stuff. That's all stuff that would be in the National Development Plan as well. So are we going to wait until the National Development Plan is updated before we can actually institute these sections of the housing plan? Or is this something we're doing as piecemeal legislation?
In a country where housing, we have always been renowned for addressing housing issues from day one. We know we talk about our seamen going to sea, purchasing land, buying the blocks, getting it up to the foundation, waiting later on, running the blocks up, getting it up to the belt, and being able to go to the bank then to get a loan or even finish it. What has caused us to find ourselves in the situation that we find ourselves in now, as opposed to our past history where there was sufficient housing? But we know that population growth has a lot to do with it.
Of growth,
but why has it been so difficult for more than one administration to be able to properly address the issue on a continuous basis? At one point in time, we had the housing, we had the Cuban, plan that was the Cuban model that was put in place. That faltered. We had the GG Ham, things that proved to be successful to a certain extent, and then all of a sudden, we have this problem.
If I can take Mr. Lee, do you want to take us out of that first?
Well, I can be pretty quick as a former minister OC. The root causes of a lot of the issues we're facing now, including housing, including high water setbacks and all those things, is the National Development Plan. 1997. If we were to do an analysis of the population growth and all those things since 1997, almost 30 years ago now, we would be shocked. And what has happened is that our policies and our development plan have not kept up with the growth of the country. And on top of that, OC, the mindset that government after government has had that we can build, the government can build themselves out of it without building, what do they call in the States? High-rise sort of
housing
high-density housing schemes, projects. We don't want that. Or nobody wants to build that, to be responsible for that, because no minister wants to put his name on a housing project, on a housing scheme, right? So we want to build these nice, beautifully architecturally designed homes, which are really middle income, but that's fine, because that's what we need. Most people in Cayman are struggling with land ownership, much less home ownership. The projects that we were starting back before we demitted office was things like the GG Ham. So persons that already have their land, we could assist them with building on their land. We talked about, we did a report as well, and we were ready to roll out things such as government assisted or BAT mortgages and down. A lot of people, the biggest issue is the down payment. To find that 30% down payment to purchase home or land, it's very difficult. So if government could even back that, to have it tagged on at the end of the mortgage, right? These are the sorts of things that I think, and then incenting. Everyone has an issue with when you say incentivize developers. Now, let's say incentivize Caymanian home builders to build affordable homes or homes within a certain price category and reserve them for Caymanians only. right? Those are the sorts of things that, along with zoning for certain types of housing, I have said that if we allow Airbnb, you see across Europe right now, they're, for the very same reasons, they're banning Airbnb in certain parts, certain cities, because it's consuming all of the housing stock.
Yep.
If we don't start to zone areas to say no commercial activity, no tourism activity in these areas, people are just going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
So if somebody builds 120 apartments and they're all within range of Caymanian, home buyer, first-time homeowner, and a local Caymanian who has the money says, I want to get 10 out of those for Airbnb, then another guy says, his buddy says, oh, I can get 10 too. When you look, 20, 30 of them are gone just for Airbnb.
Yep. Gentlemen, we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Radio Cayman News.
The hits keep coming at the pump with another massive spike this week.
We can ensure that what is added locally is fair.
Announced a 3-phase plan to tackle soaring energy costs.
Government has put together an approximately $9 million relief package.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week.
Hi, I'm Kenneth Bryan, the Deputy Leader of the Opposition. 50 golden years. Happy birthday, Radio Cayman. I'll never forget in 1988 when Hurricane Gilbert was passing through, my family and I and my mom were all in the middle school hall, staying protected. And while so many people were nervous and scared, throughout all the chaos of the noise and the wind, there was one reassuring voice being heard, and that was Radio Cayman, always being there for us through the good and the bad. Happy birthday, Radio Cayman, from my family, from my constituency, Georgetown Central, and all the People's Progressive Movement. Happy birthday.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have the Leader of the Opposition, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, and a member for Red Bay. Mr. Bryan, I believe you have to leave us soon.
Yes, I do. So thank you so much. I'm going to quickly say what I have to say, and I'm going to run. And why I'm leaving you so early is because I am so proud to go and support a young Caymanian woman. Her name is Lacey Riley. She is the daughter of Molly Ann Moore. And she's been called to the bar today, so we want to say congratulations to her.
Congrats, yes.
If you see her, know her, friends with her, send her a big shout out of support. It's so good to see our young Caymanians becoming true professionals and taking over lead roles in this country like an attorney. It's such an important career. With that being said, I have been given the message that you're doing very, very well on YouTube for Radio Cayman. We have over 100 persons online viewing, according to the message I got a while back. I want to take this opportunity to start pushing Opposition Wednesdays a lot more because it shows the viewership. So if you're watching via YouTube, recommend it to a friend. Forward the link to somebody else, because sometimes after you finish in the car and you're on the way into the office, put in a little headphone and stay with us. What we talk about is very important. One matter I want to bring up next week, and it has a little bit to do with some of the discussions we're having with the Ministry of Labour and Pension at 10:30's meeting, is the recent Labour Tribunal ruling. Welcome versus JTC Limited. It's a very significant one. It has to do with severance after retirement. It's a game changer. If you haven't heard about it, do a little Google search. It's significant to Cayman's situation. The other point is that from a tourism perspective, as my leader said earlier, we have to worry about the summer months because the fuel costs for planes are also fuel costs for ships. And with this outbreak in respect to the disease on the cruise ship, it causes fear. Fear hurts the market pricing. So even in a down summer month, it may be even worse considering the fact of another outbreak on a cruise. And sargassum is also another major problem that we're starting to see pop up within our tourism product. We want to hear from the government, what are you going to be doing with the sargassum issue for a lot of our local providers of tourism product, particularly in the beachfront areas. As I wrap up, I just want to quickly say and remind the public again, this government, since they've been in, they've increased the cost on minimum wage, increased the cost on work permit fees, they have a planned increase for water authority rates, increase in driver's license, and I can say a few more, but I'll leave it there. But no decreases. What we in the opposition say we need is reduce on those fertilizer costs that are coming. We do not want any more increases on the water authority. We want the minister to announce that projected increase will not happen. We also want to see a reduce in the food costs that are projected to go up by 6%, and we want the government to speak to that at least for 6 months until the global circumstances change. We want to see a reduction in the transport cost at the Port Authority at least for 6 months, so that the grocery stores and suppliers of our goods that we consume will not increase any further. And also we're calling for a COLA, cost of living adjustments for our civil servants who work really, really hard to give the services to this country in a first world way that has been sacrificing for year on year on year, still can't make up to what they were been owed over the last decade. The government has had a $43 million surplus that wasn't projected, so they can't say they don't have the money. With that being said, OC, thank you for having me on. Don't forget, happy Mother's Day to all the women out there this coming weekend, and come and join us tomorrow at the Seafarers Hall while we do our listening tour, working hard for you, and that's us, the People's Progressive Movement. OC, have a good show. Colleagues, enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much. You be safe out there as well. Okay.
Just to pick up on something that the deputy just mentioned, aviation fuel costs. We also need to make sure hear from them that they will be supporting Cayman Airways as these costs increase. I don't think that they addressed that at all in this last meeting. So we'll look to see what happens with that. If not, we'll be asking about that come June.
And there is a other complex issue, OC, to address, and that is that the cost of fuel and the cost of utilities in the sister islands have been inflated as well, but there's no duties. So this duty reduction will not affect or assist those in the sister islands. And I'm not going to sit here this morning and say that I have all the answers for it. It could be on Port Authority fees. It could be on something else. But I think it's important to recognize that those in the sister islands need relief as well. And these duty reductions will not actually be passed through to them because the fuel to the BRAC is duty-free. But they have their own challenges there, and the prices are going up there at the same rate that they're going up here as well.
Now, many of the suggestions that you've made are short-term in terms of addressing immediate needs, but we see other jurisdictions now looking to how to address how to ensure that they don't find themselves in similar situations later on. In terms, for instance, in terms of storage capacity, so that it isn't when shortages start to arise, it doesn't hit you right away. I asked the question before in relation to ERCO, and we see the model in Bermuda.
I did ask.
Whereby,
I did point that out.
Okay.
I asked the government, asked the minister at least, I think twice, to have a look at that model. As a matter of fact, I don't have it in front of me, but the act seems to go beyond just fuel. But to have a look at the legislation there fairly quickly to see what is applicable here. If it works there, I can't see why it shouldn't be able to work here. So after you raised it last Wednesday, I did raise that with the on the floor of the House with the minister and the government. So hopefully, knock wood, they're committed to looking at it. Let's see how swiftly we hear something about that.
Because those in the know here in Cayman about fuel costs and stuff, they are convinced that the government is being gamed by the providers in terms of invoicing and things of that nature. That is,
and the minister did speak to that.
They feel that is.
I think he termed it pricing arbitrage. So he did speak to that, and that's something that they are going to be looking into. And I really encourage that, and we support that.
Excellent.
I did also ask if they had if the government made itself or Orca had made itself happy that given whatever storage that we had on island already, paid for by whatever the costs were, that we weren't seeing prices at the pump being increased on fuel that was purchased at a lesser cost. The response was that they were happy with what they were seeing. I don't know, but that's what that's the response I had. I will do this though. Somebody just sent me, and I have to give kudos. I don't want to give free publicity, but if we can save some people some money. But someone just sent me an advert from Rubis where they have rollback Wednesdays, save 30 cents, pump and save. So I will leave that there, but it looks at least one of the fuel entities are trying to find ways to help. They see the writing on the wall. If they don't try to help themselves somehow, worse things might happen in terms of control. So
OC, and I agree with you. We, as I said earlier, when the government talked about long-term, even with housing and stuff like that, we absolutely support long-term development, long-term planning, talking about renewables or clean gas energy and all these things. But what we are challenging is the deliverability, credibility, because we're not hearing any guts to these things. We're just getting overviews. And like we said, just like the housing policy, it's a framework. It's not a plan. And it's being celebrated as a plan, and it's going to put
a lot of PR.
It's going to put every Caymanian in a home. I don't see that. I would have loved to have seen a plan.
Yeah, every chicken in a pot and every Caymanian with a home.
Every chicken. I would have loved to have seen a plan published to finish the homes that we're currently building. We've only had a couple dozen out of those occupied over the last year. That's the kind of plan I would have liked to see.
How many homes have we built? Sorry to interrupt you.
It was a very small amount.
44 is what I remember somebody saying to me, if that's factual, in the last few years.
So, I remember years ago the minister saying he was going to build 120 a year. OC, but what I would love for the minister to come to the next sitting of the House in June is with a report, a detailed report, identifying what the challenges have been in building affordable homes and an action plan as to how they're going to fix them, fund them, and what and when will they deliver these homes and how many to Caymanians. That's what we need to know when we talk about 800 families being affected, waiting on a home. So that's the kind of plan I want to see with deliverables, with benchmarks, with reporting mechanisms, things that we can all watch and say, yes, we're making progress in this area. And that's long-term planning. Right now, we are nowhere. We are just drifting in the middle of a storm with no guidance, no power, no sales, nothing.
Yeah. I think the minister tends to be an action-oriented type individual, but on housing, the phrase keeps coming to me. We need to pick up the pace, and we really need to see some real action. And I think he knows he can't do this on his own. We need private sector. And I think it was December 2024, Leader, that you brought a motion to Parliament outlining a number of initiatives that could be undertaken to help alleviate some of the housing challenges. And back then, I don't think we were hearing about 3,000 It was suppose it was a lot less then, but it's just the government doing it by themselves won't fix it. Right?
No,
we need to branch beyond that.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Ministry of Education and Training invites eligible Caymanians to apply for a local scholarship for the 2026-2027 academic year. If you haven't applied yet, you still have time. The deadline has been extended to Sunday, 31st of May, 2026. To apply or learn more about the various scholarship offerings, please visit www.moescholarships.gov.ky. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education and Training.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The Deputy Leader of the Opposition has left us, so still in the studio with me, Leader of the Opposition and the member for Red Bay. Gentlemen.
OC, before we restart on the broader conversation, just like to take my hat off to the leader and to read a letter that he wrote on the 29th of April to the Premier. Dear Premier and the Speaker, dear Premier, dear Speaker, I write to respectfully propose that consideration be given to convening a sitting of the Honourable House of Parliament in Kimmenbrack in keeping with the long-standing practice that existed prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Historically, sittings in the Sister Islands have served as an important demonstration of Parliament's commitment to national unity and accessibility. They provide residents of Kimmenbrack and Little Cayman with a direct opportunity to observe proceedings of the House, engage more closely with the legislative process, and feel meaningfully included in the governance of our islands. As we have now returned to a state of normalcy in our parliamentary operations, I believe the time is appropriate to re-establish this practice. Doing so would send a strong and positive signal that the Parliament remains committed to respecting all three islands equally, not only in policy, but in presence. I would therefore respectfully request that consideration be given to scheduling a sitting of the House in Kimmenbrack during the current or upcoming legislative cycle at a time deemed suitable by your offices. And he goes on to say, I'll be pleased to assist any necessary to support this planning and coordination of such a sitting. So I just wanted to thank the leader for doing that. As a Kimmenbracker who lived longer now in Grand Cayman. I live in Cayman Brac, but I still go back to the Brac. I know how much that is appreciated by Caymanians who live far from Grand Cayman and can't just drive into town here and enter Parliament. But to have the sittings there is actually a meaningful thing, and meaningful also to the economy of Cayman Brac, because the times that we were there in the past, we added to hotel use, we added to the use of restaurants and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So cabinet has been held over there, but no parliament.
No parliament. Since the last time we did it in before COVID, just before COVID. Yeah. So OC, first of all, let me again remind everyone. And today we were busy. We were a lot to say. I'm actually going to leave with half of my stuff in my notepad untouched, and so we apologize that we were not able to take calls this morning. However, we will be live in person tomorrow evening at the Seafarers Hall as a part of our listening tour at 6:30. So we would invite those to come out and have dialogue with us. We said a lot this morning on the show, so if persons have questions or want to provide us with their opinion and their views, that's what it's for. We are there to listen more than we are to talk tomorrow evening. So I invite everyone out to the Seafarers Hall at 6:30 tomorrow evening for the next leg of our listening tour. OC, I do have to run off as well, but I just wanted to say that we're continuing to push. There'll be, the public will hear a lot more from us in the coming weeks over some of these issues. I did want to briefly touch on the landfill, and I spoke about it earlier, where I think there was, I don't think there was, perhaps there was a mix-up, I don't know, but it's unparliamentary or against parliamentary process where you usurp or you preempt parliamentary questions by providing statements or even debating issues that are coming up in a motion or a debate later on.
Mm-hmm.
But the minister did provide a detailed response to my questions within a statement. And I had the opportunity, was allowed the next day to still bring my questions and to ask a few more supplementaries on that. And out of that, OC, it seems that the government now has a plan. There was a lot of chat about kicking the can down the road. Unfortunately, I believe this plan still kicks the can down the road. It's a 10 to 12 year plan. A lot of the things that we have been pushing for, and I have been pushing for, or still haven't been implemented, such as a independent oversight of the processes at the landfill to ensure that we don't have these fires, that the layering is being done, that the compacting is being done, that they're following environmental best practices, that there's no leaching. There's been no independent testing of gases or leaching. None of these things are happening as we continue to just dump into the dump, into the dump, into the dump. And now it was revealed as well during my questioning, which is why it's important that you answer the questions, because you get the ability to ask supplementaries, that their plan cannot start to take action until the end of the year, because their plan is contingent on the results of the exiting of the regen contract. So they won't even start business plans or strategic policies, policy statements, outline business plans or strategic business plans until the end of the year. And it seems to be hinged on land ownership. And so the short-term action plan of the government is to start a new landfill, a proper landfill apparently, right at the same site. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they own the land. So the land is a part of the negotiations with the dark group on the failed regen project. And then at that point, they will start a business plan to create a proper landfill, which, then you have to go through the plans, then you have to go through the environmental impact assessment, then you have to go through the bidding. Or see this, we won't see that new line, the state-of-the-art landfill, temporary landfill, I would think the earliest would be 4 years. And then we're already 5 years into the 12-year plan. So I have real concerns around it. I would suggest that perhaps we make ourselves...
The 5-year landfill life cycle.
The 5-year landfill life cycle, which is now down to 5, at least it's still not at 7. We're at risk of running out of time and nothing being done. Recycling is fantastic. We still haven't seen any timelines on that. We haven't seen a budget to buy the new equipment for picking up recycling goods. If you're going to rely on everyone driving to a supermarket to put their recycling stuff in a bin, not everyone has a car, right? But not everyone has access to do so. So it's going to have to be on certain items, the easier ones, the curbside stuff. They can manage most of it up at the landfill if they have people checking what's going into the landfill, such as vegetation, construction materials. But the everyday plastics and papers and that sort of stuff has to happen in the home and has to be picked up curbside like they do everywhere else in the world. But we are far away from that at the moment.
If I may, on the issue of derelict vehicles, we know that there have been several government contracts with private companies to have that leave the Cayman Islands.
Tires. But it doesn't seem as if, there's been several failed contracts, and then there's been several failed attempts at executing contracts. I think that there's some fundamental issues there the government needs to look at. I am not one for supporting the government profiting from persons taking garbage out of our country. And that might be an issue. There might be too many costs associated at the port, the demurrage fees and all these things that the port charges for them to export stuff out of the country, considering we don't export anything but empty containers. But I don't have all the details, but that was some of the information that was provided to me. And historically, that has been some of the reasons why companies have failed in executing. And of course, it's a market, right?
Yes.
It fluctuates. So they might sign a contract to supply scrap metal to the United States at market price. 6 months later, something happens and the price goes up or goes down. You never know. But if it does go down, then all of a sudden they don't have a market for it, and it kills the project. So these are the things that we have to look at. But I am concerned that we are still, and they have a long-term plan, but again, the long-term plan has no timelines, no reporting mechanisms, no guts to it. And so I'm concerned that, yes, we are still kicking the can down the road, and we're reliant now. There'll be 2 years in office, basically, by the time they can decide whether or not we're going to do a landfill at the current site, or we're going to do a landfill in Bodden Town, or we're going to do it West Bay.
Don't interrupt you, but the government keeps saying on a myriad of issues that they're not kicking the can down the road, but for almost most of them, that's exactly what they're doing. And to add to your the importance of that independent oversight committee, the folks at DEH know what they need to do. They will do what they need to do, but they need support from the government, and they need the funding to make sure that they have the compactors, to make sure they have enough of the material that they need to layer the landfill, make sure the landfill is managed in the way it needs to.
I suspect that there are already reports. I suspect that there has already been investigations, and I suspect that the results of those are something that the government is not willing to invest in at the moment for the results that's needed.
Okay.
Well, see, I do have to run, so I can take this opportunity to say goodbye. And again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'll be sending out a message officially shortly. And happy birthday to all of those celebrating birthdays, and in particular to my son Jacob. Happy 18th on Sunday when it comes. And of course, to be equal, I have to say, especially to my wife, happy Mother's Day on Sunday when it comes as well.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Okay, all the best. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price, and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, you got a great deal in store for you.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hello, this is Roy Tatum, your Member of Parliament for Red Bay. Congratulations to Radio Cayman on 50 remarkable years. For half a century, Radio Cayman has been more than a radio station. It has been the voice of our people, the heartbeat of these islands, present through every storm and every celebration and every chapter of our story as Caymanians. A special thank you to every staff member, past and present, whose dedication and passion built this legacy we treasure so deeply. On behalf of the people of the constituency of Red Bay, I thank you, Radio Cayman, and may your signal carry us proudly into the next 50 years. God bless.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. A little attrition taking place, but we still have Mr. Roy Tatum with us here, representative for the constituency of Red Bay. We have a few birthday greetings here. So Pastor Alson Ebanks, he's celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday. Greetings coming from his Georgetown Chapel Church of God congregation. And also acknowledging that he's also a former Radio Cayman staff member.
That's right.
As well. And we should mention also that Miss P will be celebrating her birthday on Friday the 8th as well. Miss Paulette Conley, she will be celebrating her birthday as well. Conley Bailey, okay, Keith, let's keep it, official. Yeah, okay.
I want to just join voice with you. Those are two wonderful people, and just want to wish Pastor Al happy birthday, and Paulette happy birthday when it comes. So good stuff.
Okay.
Yes, Pastor Al does have that wonderful pastoral voice,
yes,
but
yes.
There was a time when that was a wonderful radio voice. Still is a wonderful radio voice.
It is, yes. Distinctive.
Very much so.
Yes. Authoritative, catches your attention. Yeah.
You pay attention.
So one of our listeners has said that they heard about Rubus's rollback in Grand Cayman on Wednesday, but it is not extended to the BRAC, Mr. Roy.
Okay. I was not aware of that till you just said that. So it's so we will see what happens after your announcement. I can't see why they wouldn't try to do something in Cayman BRAC. BRACers pay probably the highest fuel of any Caymanians. So that's they will certainly need it as well. So Rubus, if you're listening, you need to correct that. And Saul, if you're listening, watch what Rubus is doing. Give Caymanians a help. Thank you.
With the prices that they are the way they are in Cayman BRAC and Little Cayman both, we should take a look at Trinidad and Tobago. They have invested, and they made mistakes along the way, but they have invested heavily in ferries from Trinidad, Tobago, being able to take vehicles, take cargo, and everything else. It's a government initiative. And, while we know the clout that the private sector has here in the Cayman Islands, sometimes you as parliamentarians, as legislators, have to do what is right in the eyes of your people as opposed to the businesses. And we should look at the possibility of government. Private sector may want to continue to do it as well, but government taking up the initiative and providing some sort of regular transport that can take bulk as opposed to individual items, or including individual items from Grand Cayman to the sister islands to alleviate some of the high costs that they're experiencing over there. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse unless some corrective action is taken.
I have to agree with you, OC. I'm not a proponent of government getting involved with everything, but there are some things that government needs to be involved with. I think it was visionary and wise many years ago that we started Cayman Airways. That serves a myriad of uses for us. It's an insurance policy above all else. We've seen cases in the past with U.S. Airlines during strikes and whatnot, cutting flights here. If we didn't have Cayman Airways, I'm not sure. I don't know where we would have been. Similarly, I think it's important. I know we have Cayman Airways between here and Cayman Braca and Little Cayman, but it makes sense to me to help alleviate the cost of government to run a service between Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac to take cargo and the like. That would take the cost, the profit element out of it, and it would that would go a good ways to helping with the cost of items in Cayman Brac. We face a similar problem here. The biggest problem for us, and I'm no expert, but I believe this. I've for many years, because of the size of our port, the size of the ships that can come into it, we don't have the ability to take larger ships that may be heading, let's say, from Honduras, South America, Central America, carrying produce, fish, whatever it is, into the U.S. To stop here and for our people to order directly, or for our merchants to order directly from them. So they bypass us. They go to the U.S. They sell on to an entity there, who then sells to the stores here. Mm-hmm. We then ship. So we're paying for the shipping there. We're paying for the shipping here, and we're paying to ship empty containers, as the deputy leader mentioned earlier on, back to the U.S. Shipping costs is a large part of why our goods cost what it does. I have friends who may complain about the grocery stores. Do I think that Foster's is ripping us off? I don't. Do I think that Hurley's and the Kirk's family are ripping us off? I honestly don't. I have some friends that may agree. I do not think that but the cost to them is what the cost to them is, including spoilage. That's also a cost. So we need to find ways of solving that shipping, but that's harder for Grand Cayman. But to get goods from Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac, because goods have to come here first, and then they pay for that extra leg of shipping to get stuff to Cayman Brac. Right. And then to Little Cayman is even higher yet. Right? And I appreciate economies of scale, fewer people, supply and demand, all helps to drive prices. But if government did run a barge or a ship, whatever it is, between here, Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac, that was not based on profit, right? Just purely covering the cost, and the cost may include a little bit extra to make sure we can replace things as they wear out, but it's covering costs. I think that would be a big help. Would that happen? I don't know, but I think it's something that should be considered. So I agree with you. It's a long-winded way to say I agree with you, and there are many benefits to it.
Okay. It's other stuff that you want to cover there, or you want?
I'm happy to take some calls. My voice is telling me it's time for me to stand up. But I won't.
We have 2 voice notes.
Go ahead.
We can play those now.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Good morning, Mr. Hugh and the Honorable Kenneth Bryan and all the listening folks. I have an idea. I hope that the elected officials steal it and take all the credit for it. I'm okay with that. Uh, why don't they analyze our utility bill? Find out how much kilowatts we use and calculate the costs. And then the government development bank finance solar panels or a solar system equivalent to that, with the monthly payments being 100 or say 20% less than the monthly average CUC bill. If we can pay the CUC bill, then we could also pay the loan that we get on the solar panels to help us get totally energy efficient. And don't make it a whole bunch of issues like red tape, like getting every one of the government agencies involved, or the every agency involved. Give us that opportunity to get, sort of more financially secure, especially as the seniors that are limited in. Blessings again, blessings. I just wanted to voice an opinion. The problem with man, basically too big of egos in our politics. They all want to get credit for a good idea. And like my mama said, good ideas hit everybody about the same time. They float around in the air, and it's the people that work on it that gets the credit, and the other one stands by and said, that was my idea. We got to drop this egotistical political game that they're playing here in Cayman with us, and get on with the business that we hired you all for, and that is to make good, solid decisions and give the people the credit for electing y'all, because we had trusted y'all to make good decisions and work together. We didn't elect you to be in opposition. We didn't elect you to nothing else but to represent our wants and our needs. Thank you all. Y'all have a good, blessed day.
Sorry, we want to thank the caller for that as well. Mr. T, we have about 2 minutes left to go.
All right. I'll make it quick. I think I don't think I heard him, the leader Joey, refer to a similar scheme earlier on, where the government could provide a guarantee. A local bank could provide funding with solar panels or foam, and you calculate the savings that you'd make from that, and therefore you can assure the bank that you would have the funding to be able to pay the loan. So I have no issue with that at all. In terms of did not elect an opposition or a government, the people don't go to the polls to elect an opposition or a government. But at the end of to have a properly run parliament, there will be a government and there'll be an opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Both are important, and the opposition is hugely important, because that is what helps to make sure the government does its job. I've said it before, a strong government needs a strong opposition. Iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best thing for the people. If you have a weak, willy-nilly opposition, God help us. So I have no issue on stating the importance of an opposition. But yes, we need to make sure that we help our people and we're serving our people. In terms of taking credit, at the end of the day, politics, I said in the House, I understand it. I understand the government thinking they needed to take take credit, jumping out ahead and saying they're doing something. I get it. But I also get that it's a job of the opposition to prove our worth as well, and to look to to take it. But the important thing is that both sides on the issue in terms of cost of living and the proposals proposed by the Honourable Ron McTaggart and accepted by the government, both sides agree this is an important issue, and we need to make sure that we look to provide the Caymanian people with solutions. As I said in the House, our people need help. We need to put our heads together and get it done. So, with that, can I just say quickly,
Sure.
farewell. I'll see you again next week.
And remind of the
and remind you of the listening tour tomorrow evening at Seafarers Hall on Victory Avenue at 6:30. There will be some nibbles and so on provided, but more importantly, you will have your entire opposition there listening to you, addressing your questions, and providing you with answers. So please come out. Look forward to seeing everybody there tomorrow evening. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank all of our panel in the studio this morning. Thank those who sent in messages as well. Don't forget to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Mr. Charles Glidden Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.